afternoon, everyone. I am back now. My voice is back up now, barely. And it's time to talk about a show that I've been yearning to talk about since the moment I've been reading this manga. Now, let me get to the introduction before I even get to this. Okay. Isekais are a thing of beauty. I get it. Isekais have been overrated, and like every season, we're bound to have an isekai. Even the isekai show that's going to be returning back. Now, with shows like Kuma 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 Bear Season 2 and Another World with My Smartphone Season 2, which I got to watch today because I loved the first season. This isekai takes the cake. Now, every isekai is always a good thing for something like an isekai slice of life. Isekai comedy, like Konosuba. Isekai action. And most common isekais is always, you open a book, you go to another world. You get hit by a truck, you go into another world. You die of a heart attack, you go to another world. You die in the hospital, you go to another world. No matter what happens, you're bound to go to an isekai just like that. But this isekai is dark to the point where I'm like, I hate, not hate the show, but I hate what they do to the MC. And I hate characters who bullied and make fun of the MC. I hate characters like that. But this isekai, it's like, what would have happened if you take an isekai and you put it with one of the shows, Lookinism? You guys know Lookinism, right? And I watch Lookinism, and I'm on chapter 100, by the way. I look at this and I feel it. And I've been reading it since then, and I'm on chapter 21. Now, it's a long title, so I'm going to break it down a bit. I got a cheat ability in a different world and became extraordinary even in the real world. That's the name of the title, and I've been reading it since. But I'm gonna just say I got a cheat ability in a different world. I'm just gonna put it like that because it's a long name. So, what is this about? Why I'm so mad about this? Because this is one of those isekai that is dark isekai. Like a dark thing. So, without further ado, let's get right to the review of I got a cheat ability in a different world. But it's a long name, so bear with me. Okay, now, isekais are a thing of beauty, like I said. They're the self-proclaimed rulers of overrated genres in terms of like you got the isekais, you got the shonen. Okay. And every isekai always ends up in a good way. Some end in bad ways. But this one right here takes the cake. So, you got a fat guy named Yuuya. He is fat. He is chubby. Okay, key people call him ugly. And then one day he walks home and he see a girl being harassed by these three punks. Three punks. Even though he was at odds, he's protected her, and these three guys beat him up. They beat him up. And that girl saved me. She's like, thank you, all that stuff. Okay, that's fine and all. But man, his life in and out is pretty fucked up. Look, words can't describe how I'm feeling from watching this episode. I mean, I've read it, but watching it is just even worse than just reading it. How dark this is really dark. Let me sum this up for you guys. Yuuya has been harassed. He's been bullied every day. At home, at work, at school, everyone makes fun of him. Everyone. In elementary, they took off his clothes and said, fatty, piggy, smelly, all that shit. Even his own parents disown this guy. They disown the MC. They threw his clothes at his face and say, "Do not mix our clothes with ours." And they have two, and he's the oldest. Let me just put that clear. He's the oldest with two younger siblings, a brother and sister, and they make fun of him, even though they're family. He's still the oldest. Those two make fun of him because they look better, they look prettier than him. And he's been like this since his whole life. From elementary, middle school, and now high school, he's been treating like trash. There's been people, boys and girls, they've been taking photo shots of him getting his ass kicked by a delinquent. And the siblings ain't doing nothing about it. Just sit there and watch. Because they don't give a shit about him. Now, the only support, besides his parents and everyone, the only support he had was his grandpa. His grandpa was the only support that he had in his life. But then after he died, it's like his life has been, again, suffering once more. Again, people make fun of him. People write him words on his wall. Everything is just like, what the fuck? He just lost his grandpa and y'all still treat him like trash. Even at work, they still treat him like trash or whatnot. You know, he's trying, working part-time and all that. I'm sorry, guys. Just the MC is just, he's trying. But they still make fun of him on that shit. Okay. And then when his grandpa died, grandpa inheritance gave him the will, like he inherited, like, you know, the will thing. He gave him the house. The grandpa gave the MC his house. And the parents was like, why is it always him? It's always Yuuya this and Yuuya that. This is ridiculous. They get mad that he got the house. And they disown him like, okay, fine. He's not in our life anymore, so bye. I'm gone. I mean, we're gone. He can have the house to himself. We don't give a shit. That's how these parents were. They're a bunch of bullshitters. They don't care. All they wanted was the grandpa's money, their house. But now that the grandpa signed the will to Yuuya's, the parents is like, oh, finally a chance to get away from this fatty. Okay, let's go. Now, being depressed from his entire life, this day woke him up. The day he punched that mirror, the day he punched the mirror and the day he punched that wall was a secret entrance. His grandpa had like a secret passage, a secret wall entrance that had like full of antique stuff. But what's beyond that gate was another world. An isekai unlike any other. So he started to learn and how to use equipments from like all typical isekais. From a sword, to a spear, to a shield. Everything isekai relatable weapons. To build him up. And only he can use that passage. No one else can. So his first battle with a bloody ogre threw the spear at him, whoosh, and it was there. And it was bloody too. It was bloody as well. I think it's one of those isekais that gonna get dark from time to time. I feel like it's gonna get there. I mean, I see it coming. I feel like, because after reading and to see this coming, I feel like it's gonna get darker for every passing second. It's gonna be interesting to see where the storyline goes for this one. But anyway, again, after beating a bloody ogre, he gained experience. And after training, he goes by like, he used the points that he gets to make money, to get currency out of it, and then he learn how to cook. He learned to cook well. He know how to use it for currency to buy money and buy uniforms. So basically he's using everything he learned from another world and learn everything he can to use it in this world. It's like you're going from isekai to another. You're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're taking everything you can from this world and then go on to the present. And then you learn from what you do in this world, the human world, I'm going to call it the human world, the real world to the isekai world. And then you take from isekai world to the real world. You're going back and forth. But then one night, this is the same night, I forgot to bring this up. I gotta skip this out of here. So there's one night, he started to feel some side effects. After all the thing, he felt a side effect. And he wakes up one day and he looks handsome as well. He looks so handsome. I mean, like, it's one of those, like, lookinism. You guys remember lookinism? If you guys watch lookinism, you'll see how that is. And then, matter of fact, another comparison. You guys know the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? Remember how when Peter Parker get picked on, you know, bully and whatnot, and then he got bit by a spider? I know it's different. I know it's kind of like different because he didn't get bit. But like the same, but I'm going by like how changes the physique is. You know what I mean? So as he got bit, you know, he wakes up one day. He's like, what the fuck? Oh shit, I look handsome. So that's how it is. That's what he is reacting when he felt the body's changing. One, he wakes up and like, oh God, he's handsome. So again, he's been training and training and training his whole body, learning how to cook, learning martial arts, everything he can. With the currency he's been using and the bosses and the monsters he's been facing. And then the next day, and then after semester, after a whole year, he comes back. And everybody is looking at him differently. Everyone is shocked that this is the same fatty that he'd been beat up by the delinquent, the same guy who let the little brother and sister look at him and just get his ass kicked, the same guy that everybody's calling fatty, pig, and everything else. This guy, Yuuya, has changed. A major change in one episode. This is a major change. Everyone just looking at him like, oh my God. Like, this is a big shock around the world. Everybody looking at him like he's pretty handsome. I mean, yes, he is. Now, all that is said and done until like towards the ending credits where it's just like, hey, how did you end up like this and all that? And then here come the girl from out of the limousine. Here come the girl that was saved in the beginning of the episode. And he's going to ask him to join Osai Academy. That's how it's going to start off. That's how it's going to be, guys. So, here's the thing. This first episode covered almost 3 chapters of the isekai of the I Gotta Cheat ability in another world. It covered a lot. Now, honestly, the animation is flawless. I'm not saying flawless, but it's getting there. Like I see the animation. It's trying to reminisce on the dark matter of all things. Like it's gonna be some dark shit going on in this isekai. Like this is gonna be one of those things. But I feel like this episode it hit me because when it comes to bullying, this is one of those shows you have got to watch. It's like Magical Girl Site. Aya gets bullied every single day at home and school. And I look at this, same basic thing. Chubby guy gets beat up in his entire life. Parents disowned him. Siblings don't give a shit. Being beat up by the same guy every single day. I get mad just watching him going through so much. And for him to go back, for him to go to an isekai world, to level himself up, to change and learn how to fight and learn how to defend himself, all that, he finally be able to do things on his own to help his grandpa's honor and everything. Now, this is different from the manga. Now, this is completely different from the manga. I suggest you read it. It's completely different. But looking at the first episode, I feel like there's going to be a lot of things going on. And like with all isekais like him, he's going to end up in a harem. He's going to have great friends. He's going to have a rival. And he's going to have great friends along the way. And with him to learn everything from one isekai to the real world and from real world to an isekai, it's going to be great to see him develop even more. So, I look forward for next week's episode of I Gotta Cheat Ability in Another World. And I'm pretty sure you guys who are fans of isekais should give this show an opportunity to learn. Because this is one of the shows I'm going to be talking about all week. So, stay tuned for the next episode.